know how every small town has that one place? The kind of place people don't talk about, but everyone knows exists. For us, it was the old baseball field behind the abandoned school, tucked away so deep into the woods that it felt like it belonged to another world. We called it the Hollow. It wasn't much, just rusted bleachers, a cracked scoreboard frozen on 0-0, and a single lamppost that somehow still worked. It glowed this faint orange color, weak and uneven, like the kind of light you see in a dream before you wake up. And yet, for my friends and me, the Hollow was home. We were just a group of lost high school kids, all running from something, I guess. Broken homes, bad parents, small-town boredom. That place was our escape. When we sat under that flickering orange glow, everything else disappeared. It didn't matter that the town was poor or that our families were falling apart. Out there, it was just us. My closest friend, Ethan, needed that place more than any of us. His mom was the kind of person who called the cops just to feel in control, sometimes for real reasons, most times for none at all. But when Ethan was with us out in that field, he could breathe again. We'd sit on the bleachers, smoke cheap cigarettes, talk about the future like we had one, about getting out, traveling, seeing something beyond that decaying town. And every night, no matter how dark it got, that old light stayed on. It made the woods around us look darker somehow, like the light didn't just illuminate, it isolated. Past the edge of the field, everything melted into pitch black. Sometimes, when I got too high, I'd stare out there for minutes, thinking, what if someone was standing in that darkness right now, watching us? We'd never know. Ethan would laugh at me for saying stuff like that. But sometimes, when he thought I wasn't looking, I'd catch him staring too. That summer started like any other. Hot nights, lazy days, the same faces, the same small-town rumors. Until one night, the field wasn't just ours anymore. It was a Friday. Ethan texted me, said he'd meet me there around 10. I got there first, parked near the old school, walked the narrow dirt trail through the trees, and stepped out into the hollow. The lamppost was still buzzing faintly, moths circling it, making tiny shadows dance across the dirt. No Ethan. Just silence. At first it didn't bother me. He was always late. So I sat, smoked, and waited. 10 minutes passed. Then 20. The woods felt heavier with every second. The orange light flickered, once, twice, and I swear for a split moment I saw movement in the tree line. A shadow, tall and still, like someone just standing there. I blinked, and it was gone. I told myself it was nothing, kept smoking, but then I heard it. A sound I'll never forget. A laugh. Soft, distant, coming from the trees. It wasn't Ethan. It was too low, too broken, like someone trying to imitate a laugh without remembering how to. I called out his name. No answer. The laugh stopped. I stood there, frozen, staring into the woods, waiting for I don't even know what. And then my phone buzzed in my pocket. One new message. No name, no number, just a blank white box. And right after that, my phone died. The light above me flickered again, the buzzing growing louder, like static building in my ears. That's when the quiet hit. That unnatural silence that feels too heavy to breathe in. I started walking back to my car. Then walking turned to jogging. Jogging turned to running. When I got to the parking lot, Ethan's car still wasn't there. I waited 10 minutes, then 20. He never showed up. The next morning, I woke up to messages from our friends asking if I'd seen him. By evening, the police were searching the woods. They found his shoe near the edge of the field. That was all. No footprints, no struggle, just gone. People said he ran away. He always talked about leaving town, seeing the world, getting away from his mom. But he wouldn't have left without saying goodbye. Not to me. A few weeks later, I went back to the hollow alone. The woods felt different this time. Still, but not peaceful, like the whole place was holding its breath. As I stepped out onto the field, I froze. There were people sitting on the bleachers, 3 of them, completely motionless,
their faces turned toward the light, not saying a word. And one more, standing in front of the lamppost, dancing. Slow, erratic movements, like a puppet with tangled strings, humming a tune I couldn't recognize. At first, I thought they were just weird kids from another town, until I got close enough to see his face. The dancer. He looked familiar, like someone I'd seen before but couldn't place. Then it hit me. It was the janitor from our school, the one who disappeared the same month Ethan did. He stopped dancing, turned toward me, and smiled. I ran. When I reached the lot, something made me look back just once. The light was still glowing faintly orange, but the bleachers were empty. I got into my car and drove off so fast I nearly hit the fence post at the exit. When I got home, I told myself it was just in my head, that exhaustion and guilt had twisted things around. But a week later, I saw that same man again, standing outside the gas station near the edge of town, still wearing that same janitor uniform, still smiling. And when I drove past, I caught the reflection of his car window. The license plate was Ethan's.
Some places are quiet because they're peaceful. Others are quiet because nothing living wants to be there. And we didn't know which one we were walking into that night. It happened last summer. The only time my friends and I thought it would be fun to disconnect from our phones, escape our burnout jobs, and spend one night off-grid. Just one. We were interns at a research lab near Cape Canaveral. Smart kids, tech kids, the logic first, fear later type. So when locals told us to stay away from Devil's Rest Forest, we laughed. Superstitions, old stories. We didn't believe any of it. But there was something else in their warnings that confused us. They never said the forest was haunted. They said it was awake. We should have listened. We took 2 cars, Jake's Tesla and Marcus's Mustang, along with a telescope, 2 walkie-talkies, and more Red Bulls than any human should drink. According to the map, the clearing we were heading to wasn't even official, just a small open patch hidden deep inside the forest. Imagine the stars, Marcus said. No city lights, no noise, just space. He wasn't wrong. But the road leading there? It felt like a graveyard for forgotten cars. Broken steel buried in vines, rusted engines overflowing with moss, headlights cracked open like dead eyes. We joked about it at first, but the deeper we drove, the quicker those jokes disappeared. By the time we reached the clearing, it was almost 2:30 a.m. The sky was insane. Not beautiful, overwhelming. Stars everywhere, thick like sand, almost too bright to look at. We set up the telescope, unfolded chairs, and tried to pretend we weren't creeped out. 10 minutes in, Marcus looked up suddenly. "Did you hear that?" We all froze. Nothing. No bugs, no wind, not even leaves rustling. Just silence. A silence that didn't belong in nature. Jake raised the walkie-talkie to his mouth. "Must be the altitude. Air gets weird in places like this." But he didn't sound confident. We were debating whether to pack up when Marcus turned toward the trees. "Guys, headlights." About 40 meters away, deep between the trunks, 2 dim circles of light were glowing. Motionless, perfectly aligned. "Probably another group," Jake whispered. But he didn't move. Neither did we. The lights just stayed there, hovering behind the trees, with no sound of a motor, no crunching tires, no movement. Then, the lights faded, not blanked, not switched off, faded, like something stepping backward into the dark.
We packed immediately. "What if it's Rangers?" Marcus said. At 3 a.m., Jake shot back. We started driving out, Jake in front, Marcus behind. The forest road was narrow and uneven, forcing us to move slow. About 5 minutes in, the walkie-talkie screeched. Static. Then a voice. Not ours. Going the wrong way. We froze. That wasn't me, Jake whispered. Static again. Then another whisper. Still here. Both walkie-talkies lit up, even though only one of us had pressed the button. Marcus cursed and sped up. We followed. The forest around us grew denser, the trees closing in like bones, knitting themselves together. Branches scraped the sides of the car like fingernails. Then, headlights. Bright. Sudden. Appearing directly in front of Jake's Tesla. Jake slammed the brakes so hard all our gear shifted forward. In front of us was an old pickup truck, rusted, dented, engine rumbling like a dying animal. How the hell? Marcus whispered. The truck turned slightly, enough for us to see two figures inside. Not moving, not speaking, just staring straight ahead. Something about the way they sat didn't feel human. Their posture too stiff, heads tilted at the same unnatural angle, as if someone had placed them there. Jake reversed, heart pounding, tires spinning in the mud. But when he finally turned around, the truck was gone. No sound, no tire marks, no empty road. We decided to split, Tesla left, Mustang right, hoping to throw off the truck if it followed. Jake whispered, "He can't follow both of us." Marcus didn't answer, just pressed the pedal. For about 2 minutes, everything was quiet. Then, the walkie crackled again. Marcus's voice came through. "It's behind us," Jake responded instantly. "Floor it, we're almost at the main road." Silence. Then a single word, not in Marcus's voice. Running. The truck appeared again, but this time right in front of us. Same dent, same broken headlight, same two figures. "How?" Jake screamed. Before we could react, the truck jerked forward. Not toward us, toward Marcus's direction. We couldn't follow. There was no road there, just thick trees. And still, the truck slipped through them as if the forest parted for it. We reached the main highway and waited for Marcus. 5 minutes passed, then 10, then 30. No lights, no car, no signal. We drove back to town, called everyone we could, drove the route twice. Nothing. No skid marks, no broken branches, no signs of a crash. He was just gone. 2 days later, police found Marcus's Mustang deep in Devil's Rest, somehow parked perfectly beside a tree. Key still in the ignition, doors locked. No footprints around it, no signs of a struggle. The only thing out of place was the dashboard cam. We watched the footage with the sheriff. For 30 minutes, it was just Marcus driving, talking, breathing nervously. Then, around the time he radioed us, the screen turned to static for exactly 3 seconds. When the picture came back, the road was empty. But for one frame, just one, you could see a figure standing in the middle of the road, head tilted, smile too wide, eyes too bright. The same smile we'd seen inside that truck. Then the footage ended.
I landed in Japan in December 2023, expecting the same peaceful winter trip I'd taken years ago. My family's old ryokan in Kaga Onsen always felt like stepping back in time. Wooden hallways, paper doors, the steady rumble of the Daishoji River outside. But the moment I arrived this time, something felt off. The building was quiet, too quiet. I knew winter was off-season, but it wasn't supposed to feel abandoned. The front desk was empty. No footsteps, no voices, just the hum of old heaters and the faint echo of wind funneling through hallways. According to my father, they had temporarily shut down operations, but he said the caretaker usually stayed over winter. This time, he wasn't there. No note, no explanation. I shrugged it off. grabbed a key from behind the counter, and settled into one of the rooms. The emptiness was strange, but the nostalgia kept me excited. I hadn't been here in over 15 years. Back then, my father used to tell me stories about the land behind the hotel, how the builders found ancient stone pillars buried in the hillside, a forgotten shrine, maybe 1,000 years old. As a kid, I'd always imagined exploring it one day. Now, I finally had the chance. The next morning, the world was silent. Heavy snow blanketed everything, hiding paths and flattening the forest behind the hotel. Still, I pushed forward, boots sinking ankle-deep into powder. The forest was dense and quiet, almost unnaturally so. No birds, no streams, just the sound of my breathing. After about an hour of wandering, I realized I was completely lost. My phone had no signal, and the snow blocked any familiar landmarks. All I could see were trees, a steep hill, and more white. I figured climbing the hill might give me a better vantage point, so I pushed upward. The climb was brutal. The slope was steeper than it looked, and every few steps I had to grab onto exposed roots to keep from sliding. About halfway up, I noticed what looked like a faint trail, the remains of a path now barely visible under snow and dead branches. It was old, ancient even. Each step stirred something uneasily familiar, as if I'd walked here before in a dream. The path led me near the top, but then it abruptly ended. That's when I saw it. A dark opening, hidden behind overgrown bushes, almost invisible if not for the strange stillness around it. A cave, exactly where my father once described the old shrine to be. My heart started pounding, not out of fear, but excitement. I moved the branches aside and crouched down. The entrance was just big enough to squeeze through. Inside, the air was freezing and carried a scent I couldn't place at first. Dampness, earth, and something else. Something like an animal enclosure. I clicked my flashlight on. The beam landed on a small alcove carved into stone. A rectangular stone block sat in the center, not naturally formed, deliberately placed. I moved deeper. The cave opened into a larger stone chamber with rough-cut walls and 2 narrow tunnels branching off. At the far end of the chamber was another stone block, bigger, long, and hollow. I raised my flashlight and froze.
Inside the hollow block were bones. Human bones. Arranged neatly, almost ritualistically. Surrounding them were objects, a corroded length of metal, coins with square holes, fragments of rope. My hands were shaking as I reached down and picked up one of the coins. I don't know why. Curiosity? Instinct? I didn't even get the chance to look at it properly because a sound came from the tunnel to my left. A heavy thud, followed by another, like something hitting the ground or walking. I whipped my flashlight toward the noise. The air suddenly felt thicker, the animal smell growing stronger, almost choking. I stumbled backward. I grabbed the long piece of metal from inside the stone block. It felt like the hilt of a blade that had rusted away. Not a weapon anymore, but better than nothing. I backed toward the entrance, trying to control my breathing. Then I heard it. Deep, rhythmic thumping, like a drum, slow, methodical, coming from the tunnel. The smell shifted again. Smoke, burnt wood. It made no sense. That's when the cave floor trembled lightly beneath my feet, just for a second. A vibration, a warning. I panicked. I ran toward the entrance, scraping my shoulder against the rocky wall. As I scrambled out, I swear something shifted behind me. A shape? A shadow? I don't know. I didn't look back. I leapt down the slope, slipping, tumbling through snow and broken branches until I reached the forest floor. The metal hilt I carried slipped from my hand and disappeared in the snow. I didn't stop to retrieve it. I just ran. After what felt like forever, I heard a sound. Cars, faint and distant. Civilization. I pushed through the trees and collapsed onto the side of a narrow road, waving frantically when a small truck approached. The driver hesitated at first, probably because I looked half insane, but he eventually let me in. He told me I was nearly 4 miles from the hotel. 4 miles. I had wandered far deeper into the forest than I realized. By the time we reached the hotel, my nerves were fried. I collected my things, got into my rental car, and drove straight back to Kanazawa. The hotel that once felt nostalgic now felt wrong, violated. Weeks later, in February, my father texted me. The hotel staff had finally reopened the place. Someone had broken in, not through the lobby, not through storage, through a first-floor window, the same wing where I had stayed. Nothing was stolen, nothing damaged, except my room. The door had been completely smashed in, as if someone or something had been searching for something inside. My father asked if I knew anything about it. I didn't respond, because deep down, I already knew. I took something from that cave, and something from that cave came looking for me.